Hello, everyone. My name is Mihai Stoiciu. I am professor of mathematics at Williams College. I'm delighted to moderate our conversation today on quantitative skills in context. Our main presenters will be the QLAB core team, Melissa Eblen-Zayas, professor of physics at Carleton College, and Laura Mahler, director of quantitative skills programs and peer support at Williams College. So thank you very much.
All right, welcome everyone. We're so glad that you are here and able to join with us. Those of you who are not on the East Coast, we appreciate that you started your day a little early in the summer, so that's much appreciated. And so we would actually, our goal for this session is to just have the opportunity to take stock of over the past year, what were some of the strategies that folks tried, and how are we going to take those lessons learned and move them forward? So I'll turn it over to Laura so that she can introduce herself, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
So my name is Laura Muller, and I'm the Director of Quantitative Skills Programs at Williams College and a member of the QLAB core team. And we've been spending all for the last year really thinking in depth about the modules that we've put together, which you can see this afternoon, but we're really starting to think forward. And so we'd like to take stock of where we are, as Melissa said, to figure out how to move forward and what are the next steps. And because of COVID, we actually have 2 more years of this 3-year grant because we can get an extension. And so we'd really like to involve everyone we can in the program. I also want to say that Jonathan Lehman is here, also from Williams College, and Jonathan is also a member of the QLAB core team because without him and Sunday Richards from Davidson, we couldn't have managed some of the technical things that we had to do in order to make this program work. So there's that.
All right.
Jonathan.
So as Laura mentioned, the grant that we have for NSF is really focused on developing some particular online modules to support quantitative skills in a way that is multidisciplinary. So the idea is, to help students see the relevance of these skills in many different disciplinary contexts and review and practice them in those contexts. But we're interested more generally in sort of what was the initiation for this project originally, is just seeing that one of the common common threads among all of our institutions is that we have students who come to our institutions from a variety of different high school backgrounds, and really their ability to jump in and use quantitative skills in context varies immensely. And I think, with COVID and the disparities of the experiences in high schools, we're only going to see sort of how do we support students' quantitative skills grow in importance. And so we're interested in having the opportunity to collaboratively brainstorm with you about what we've done in the past year and what we're going to do going forward. So let me go ahead. I'm going to share my screen, and then we are going to go ahead and use Mentimeter to sort of learn a little bit about who you are and what you've done in this past year. All right, so I will go ahead and share and present. Okay. And so you should be able to go ahead to the Mentimeter prompt that is at the top of the screen and enter that code. And then we want you to start just by introducing yourself. So what discipline and role you have. All right. So we have some IT folks. We have some quantitative skills center folks, stats, math, biology, psychology. Great, physics. Excellent. Some political science. Excellent. So this is great in that we have sort of the range of disciplines that we're hoping to engage in terms of their relevance for quantitative skills. All right, so then the next question that we want to address is learning about the past year. What courses were you teaching? So were you teaching intro or intermediate STEM or social science courses, or were you primarily providing academic or instructional support? You should be able to select more of them. And I think the reason why we're interested in particular about this introductory versus intermediate course level is one of the things that we've discussed a lot with regards to the QLAB modules is, in the intro level, there's quite a bit of variation just because you're basically directly seeing what students' high school preparation has been. And then at the intermediate level, oftentimes there's the question of what have students forgotten, or if students took different pathways into an intermediate level course, they might have different levels of preparation. Historically, QLAB has focused primarily on the intro courses, but we're looking to think about how we might support more intermediate level courses. So, all right, so let's go ahead then and move on to the next question. So this is for those of you who were instructors in the past year. And so for those of you who were instructors in the past year, we're interested in knowing which of the following instructional methods did you use? And we realize this list is not exhaustive, and we started with a much longer list, and Laura can attest, and then it was just crazy to try and see. So. All right. So, so what jumps out to me immediately is that there were a lot of different strategies that people were using, right? People were really using a full set of toolboxes, and it seems like there's a mix of sort of synchronous, asynchronous engagement, feedback from the instructor, and using sort of self-graded or sort of self-assessment techniques. And I think that's one of the things that is really nice about moving into the online environment, right? There are some ways where it encourages you to sort of have students check in with their own level of understanding in a way where oftentimes when you were in a face-to-face classroom, you would just read the room to sort of check in with students' understanding, and you can't do that in a virtual environment. So having sort of these self-checks is something that a lot of people used. All right. So I think with that then, and so we have one more question then. If you had students who struggled with quantitative skills in your introductory or intermediate courses, what were the supports that were available to students, to your students this past year? All right. So, and the thing that I think we're particularly interested in the QLAB project is that all of these sort of virtual supports that were provided, and thinking a little bit about how that looked and what elements of sort of online tools or online virtual supports might we want to continue in the future.